Alright, what's going on, y'all? Okay, so we're just gonna go over PO3, power of 3, also known as AMD. I want to type it out, but kind of don't want to. So AMD equals accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. I know we went over this a little bit. We went over this in the open, high, low, close video. So accumulating can also be known as consolidation, but we just call it AMD. Power 3 is just focusing on those three that I just mentioned. So power 3 is basically saying that there is consolidation in price. Price will then create manipulation. Oh my gosh. And then distribution. We're accumulating. We have manipulation down up here, and we start to see distribution creating a downtrend. This works on every single time frame. So if I were to show you guys an example, just looking at this is New York session right here. We can call this area, let's highlight this. So let's say this is basically price accumulating, just wicking. I'd say this is just consolidation. If you're looking at a higher time frame, then yeah, I'd say consolidation, if I can find it. I know I wasn't that far off. Well, looks like I just lost it. Bro, what the freak? Okay, so we lost that one, so don't worry about that. So this right here is accumulation. We created this huge leg down. This was our manipulation leg, and as you can see, right here, we closed above bearish candle, lined up on my mark over here, indicating that price would just keep on having some type of continuation, or we would say distribution. So this right here is an example on a 15-minute time frame of PO3 or AMD. AMD, here's accumulation, manipulation down right here, and then we had the distribution. So when you're looking at price, most of the time, if not all the time, your trades would have to be hot in the manipulation leg. So you need to realize that, are we in a manipulation leg, up or down? And once you figure that out on a high time frame, your goal is to find your specific edge or entry during the part where we start actually getting some insane distribution. This is where the volatility would come into play. Or if you're doing it wrong, like let's say I see this manipulation leg and we're like, oh, we're just going to keep on dumping down to, this imbalance right over here, So I'm just going to enter shorts. Obviously you would see why you got completely stopped out. Because one, you probably, lack of patience can be one. Not following your rules and understanding what price is doing on a higher time frame. We respected it, indicating again that we're still distributing to the upside. And again, this is I don't know if I went over order flow, but I'm gonna title this video as part order flow, but mostly PO3 AMD. When you know when price action is with or against you, you would mark out your PD arrays and see if price is just constantly respecting it. If we're on an uptrend and we constantly see that price is respecting and not fully making a reversal all the way down, like for example, wicks and little zigzags with candles is basically respecting price. Hence why we moved up here, wicked again, and we're just continuing upward. To see our PD arrays get disrespected, obviously we'd start seeing like actual candles get formed. A retap up here, let's say in this area we created a inverse fair value gap, and then price just keeps on continuing downward. So with your PD arrays, if they're getting disrespected, we're having some type of reversal with the order flow. Match that up with a market structure shift or an order block. But I see, because this was our leg down, I don't think we created SMT. I think we did sweep liquidity. So on this day, I'm pretty sure I had my liquidity levels marked out. I know it's not accurate, but we had our liquidities levels marked out on a higher time frame, on a 15-minute time frame. We see that we actually closed below it, but I think viewing it on a higher time frame, I'm not going to go over it because I'm not going to try and lose my spot. But most likely we're just wicking this area. That right there, if we're wicking and not closing below or above any liquidity level, it's for me, it's indicating that we're just respecting that. And you know, every time we just have a liquidity sweep, we're gonna have some type of reversal. This right here is an example of PO3. I find another example, small uptrend. You see that price is just accumulating in these areas. Then we have this huge leg up and a leg down. This leg up right here was our manipulation, and we start seeing a continuation in the other direction, distributing back down. And as you can see right here, as another example, we have our liquidity sweep. What does price do when we sweep liquidity? We have a reversal. So right here, I'd say is a pretty good example. Are you respecting, disrespecting PD arrays? You understand order flow. You know, are we closing below any other previous leg candles coming down or upward? That's when you would mark out your order blocks. I'll try and find one more example. Okay, so I'm on the 15-minute time frame. I'm gonna go, I don't know, 5-minute time frame. Oh, there's my example. So I guess we can go back to it. So what do we see here on a 5-minute time frame? See accumulation, and just because of habits, there's our liquidity sweep. Here's other previous liquidities. Okay, so looking at this, as I have my other chart over here. So once we see that this liquidity was originally closed below, we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to keep on looking at this liquidity to see if there's going to be any entry possibilities. We're not worrying about PM session, we're worrying about Asia session. So by looking at this, I'll add the colors, but by looking at this, what do we notice between these two pairs, these correlated pairs? We notice that NQ ended up sweeping Asia's lows, which is one of our main liquidities that we're going to mark up. I don't know if I mentioned that in my liquidity video, but you want to, before New York session opens, we want to at least mark up our pre-markets, our London highs and lows, Asia highs and lows. We notice that Asia right here already got swept in from London. That's irrelevant. But what is relevant is Asia's lows because we did not tap into that. So, like I said, right here we created a SMT, which is also indicating with our manipulation leg that we're going to have our reversal. So there's our A, M, and then our distribution, our D, will be after our SMT leg. So this is what we do. This was probably really good price action. Just looking at this day. And also you can see right up here, what do we also notice on this? This was pre-market high, and then what was this, news 925? No, that's not news. Can I mark it? Okay, whatever. We're focused on this wick right up here. So what do we realize? Pre-market, New York swept it, New York didn't sweep it. This is why we had our distribution leg down here. We started consolidating a little bit. Then we had our actual manipulation leg. This created our liquidity sweep on one pair, and on the other pair we lagged, so we created a SMT indicating that price was going to have a reversal. So this literally is an example of our manipulation leg, if this makes sense. And hopefully it does. And then we see this entire zone right here just distributing back up. And what do we notice? Price ends up sweeping this. So that's all I want to go over today. We had some liquidity, AMD. This is what I include as a confluence with my trading, looking at a higher time frame. So appreciate you guys for watching this video.